Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your curiosity, your sources, and really try to get to the heart of compelling stories. Today, based on the list chart summary you sent over, we are plunging into, well, quite a world. Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. And our goal here isn't just to, walk through Offred's story again, which the summary does really well. We want to unpack how Gilead actually works, how people resist in small ways, and really why this book still feels so relevant, so chillingly possible.
Exactly. And what's so gripping is how it tackles these huge questions head on, right? Power, freedom, the human spirit, all in this dystopian frame. We'll be looking at how a society like that could even happen, step by step, and how individuals try to navigate it or even fight back.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's guide you through Offred's world and what we can learn from it. So the whole thing starts with this massive upheaval. The sources make it clear the United States is just gone, finished. It's a really jarring start, throws you right into this feeling of loss.
And what takes its place is Gilead, a theocracy. It's built on these incredibly strict, kind of warped Christian ideas. And right away, central to everything, women lose all power instantly. Their roles, their rights, everything's redefined, restricted, no autonomy, no property, all supposedly for order.
And that's where we meet Offred. She starts out in this place called the Rachel and Leah Center. It's for training handmaids. The summary points out it's in an old high school, just a normal high school building. That detail feels important, doesn't it? Using something so ordinary for something so awful.
Oh, absolutely. That's Atwood showing how easily the familiar can be twisted. It normalizes the horror. It suggests oppression doesn't always need tanks. Sometimes it just moves into the school down the street, turning education into indoctrination. Then Offred moves to live with the commander and Serena Joy, but that mundane origin, it hangs there.
And the visuals become really key here. She has to wear this bright red uniform. Now, the source mentions the obvious symbolism, fertility, danger, all that. But what about the tension there? She's highly visible, but also invisible as a person.
That's exactly it. It's a psychological masterstroke. The red screams her purpose. She's a vessel for childbirth. Unmissable. But it also erases her. She becomes just a handmaid, one of many. So yeah, total visibility as a functionary, complete invisibility as Offred. Seen by all, known by none.
Yeah, okay. And this leads to these early moments showing Gilead's control. Like the shopping trips. They're not just popping to the shops. It's with another handmaid, Offred, very controlled. And they pass the wall where they see bodies, executed men, just hanging there as part of the routine. That's intense psychological pressure, right?
Totally. The wall isn't just punishment. It's state-sponsored terror woven into daily life. A constant, public, grim reminder. Step out of line, this is what happens. It normalizes fear, makes it mundane, and it's for everyone to see, cementing the regime's grip.
So while all this is happening externally, Offred's mind is somewhere else a lot of the time. Her memories. The source calls this a key device. But how do these flashbacks work? It's not just about what she lost, is it? It feels like it's also about memory itself.
Precisely. Her memories are fragmented, sometimes hazy. That reflects trauma, sure, but also how memory becomes this private rebellion in Gilead. It's the one thing they can't completely control. She remembers Moira, her friend, so full of life, her activist mother, losing her daughter, her husband Luke. These aren't just backstory, they're anchors to who she was. They highlight the cost of Gilead and how fragile truth is when the state controls the narrative.
And there's that little mystery early on. The Latin message scratched in her room, left by the handmaid before her. Such a small thing, but it suggests history, resistance, like a whisper from the past.
It is. It's like a hidden lifeline. Suddenly, she's not the first to feel this despair or to try and leave a mark. It creates this sense of a secret lineage, a shared burden, even if unspoken, a tiny crack in the isolation.
The pressure around fertility is just immense, too. That scene at the doctor's, he implies that the commander might be the problem, not her, then offers to help her himself sexually, knowing her survival depends on pregnancy. And she refuses, even with everything on the line. That feels huge.
It's an incredible assertion of agency. In a situation where she has almost none, refusing him, risking death, potentially, is her reclaiming her body, saying, no, I won't be reduced just to that, not even for survival. It's a quiet, powerful, I exist. Her inner resistance starting.
Then you have the ceremony. This cold, ritualized sex with the commander while she's lying between Serena Joy's legs. It's designed to be completely impersonal, right?
Absolutely. It screams how Gilead views women, purely as reproductive tools. No agency, no pleasure, no identity involved. It's a public display of ownership wrapped in twisted religious justification. Women exist to breed for the state. Full stop. And involving Serena Joy implicates the wives, too. Forces them into the system that oppresses them and others. It's deeply disturbing.
And right after that, Offred does something small, almost instinctive. Sneaks downstairs, which is forbidden. Runs into Nick, the driver. And he gives her this message from the commander. Let's meet him secretly.
Yeah.
It's just a tiny spark, but it opens a door, doesn't it? Hints at something else going on beneath the surface.
A tiny crack in the edifice, yeah. An illicit possibility.
Okay, so moving forward, we start seeing the hypocrisy more clearly and also, like, real resistance. There's Janine's birth. It's not private. It's this big public show for the Handmaids. How is Gilead using fertility like that as a public performance?
It's pure propaganda theater. Janine giving birth becomes this ritual celebrating Gilead's success, supposedly. It's meant to motivate the other handmaids, reinforce their purpose, and show the regime's control over life itself. It's a forced celebration of ideology, not really of a baby. And it simultaneously shames the handmaids who aren't pregnant, driving wedges between them. Constant pressure.
But then you have real courage, like Moira's escape from the Rachel and Leah Center, disguised as an aunt. That's such a powerful moment of defiance early on. What does Moira mean for Offred?
Moira is pure, unadulterated defiance. She's a living reminder of the before time of agency. For Offred, she's hope. Maybe fragile hope, but hope nonetheless. Her escape is this blast of freedom in a suffocating world. Moira proves the will to be free isn't easily broken, even if the risks are enormous.
Things get weirder with the commander's secret meetings.
No.
Playing Scrabble, reading old vogues, asking for a kiss. Offred laughs hysterically at one point, which just shows how absurd it all is. But is this connection real? Or is it just manipulation?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's deeply ambiguous. On one hand, maybe she feels seen, just for a moment. But on the other, it's him breaking the rules he benefits from. It shows the hypocrisy at the top, and it kind of pulls Offred into his little secrets, makes her complicit in a way. His loneliness might be genuine, but the power imbalance is huge. It's a game.
Then comes a massive shift. Offglin, her shopping partner, reveals she's part of the resistance. Mayday. Suddenly, Offred's not just surviving alone. She's connected to something bigger. That must be terrifying and maybe hopeful.
A total game changer. It shifts her from just enduring to potentially acting. But the danger level skyrockets. Who can you trust in Gilead? Betrayal means the wall, or worse. The weight of that knowledge is immense. Her private struggle suddenly has public stakes.
And to really get Gilead, you need those flashbacks Offred has about how it all started. The source mentions the attack on Congress the president killed, then rights being stripped away step by step for safety, women losing jobs, money, everything.
Yeah, and that's Atwood's crucial warning, isn't it? The boiling frog scenario. Rights weren't lost in one go. It was gradual, bit by bit, often framed as necessary for security or morality.
Small steps.
Exactly. Women lose financial independence, then jobs, then bodily autonomy. It shows how fast things can unravel if people aren't vigilant, and how fear is used to justify the awful.
And that Latin phrase she found? Nolit te bastards carborundorum. The commander eventually tells her what it means. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
Right.
And that the handmaid who wrote it, she hanged herself.
Yeah. Suddenly it's not just a defiant scribble, it's a tragic legacy. It underlines the desperation, the cost of resistance, even just internal resistance. And it makes the commander's later interactions with Offred feel even more predatory, knowing his connection to the previous woman's fate.
Things get even more complicated later. Serena Joy, desperate herself, actually tells Offred to sleep with Nick, to get pregnant that way.
Right.
And Offred agrees. It shows Serena Joy's own trap within the system, right? And the strange alliances women form.
Absolutely. It's this really twisted pact born of shared desperation. Serena Joy, for all her status, is still trapped by the fertility crisis, so she breaks the rules herself, pushing Offred towards Nick. It shows even the beneficiaries of the system aren't free, and how desperation can lead to these dangerous, complex arrangements between women.
We also see more public control tactics. The Praveganza celebrating arranged marriages.
Yeah, reinforcing state control over relationships. Love is irrelevant. Function is everything.
Marriage becomes just another transaction for Gilead's benefit, stripping away choice again.
Exactly. Ritualizing every part of life to serve the state.
Though there's that tiny moment where Serena Joy shows Offred a picture of her daughter, a glimpse of humanity under the surface. But then the hypocrisy explodes. The commander takes Offred to Jezebel's, this secret club. brothel, basically.
Mm.
What does Jezebel's reveal about Gilead?
It's the rotten core. It shows the purity is just for show, at least for the powerful men. They get to indulge in exactly what's forbidden for everyone else. It's a pressure valve for the elite, built on the exploitation of women. It exposes the whole system as being about power and control, not genuine belief.
And who does Offred see there? Moira.
Yeah.
Moira explains she tried the underground female road but got caught. What's the significance of that network and Moira ending up there?
The underground female road, the name itself is so deliberate, echoing the Underground Railroad. It frames Gilead's women as escapees from slavery, basically, seeking freedom. Moira's capture and ending up at Jezebel's is heartbreaking. It shows that even the fiercest spirit can be broken or forced into a different kind of prison. Her journey highlights the immense risks and the limited options for escape. And then Offred has sex with the commander there, has to fake it. Another layer of degradation.
But soon after, Serena Joy orchestrates Offred meeting Nick properly. And this time, the connection is real. Offred doesn't have to fake it. She becomes, as the source says, obsessed with Nick, starts neglecting the resistance stuff. Can personal connection be a trap too, in a way?
It's a really complex ethical point Atwood raises. Offred finds genuine intimacy, something incredibly precious in that world, a lifeline. But does that personal solace make her complicit? Does it distract her from the larger fight for collective freedom? It forces you to weigh individual survival and happiness against the systemic horrors. There's no easy answer.
And Gilead keeps using these horrific public events, the women salvaging hangings, and the persecution where the handmaids literally tear a man apart, who they're told is a rapist, but he was actually resistance. How do these spectacles work?
Pure terror tactics. The salvaging is straightforward execution as public warning. State power over life. The persecution is way more psychologically sinister. It channels the handmaid's own trauma and fury, directs it outwards onto a state-approved target. It makes them participate in the brutality. It binds them to the regime through shared violence, shared guilt. It's horrific manipulation.
And the impact is immediate. The next shopping trip, there's a new Offglen. The old one killed herself before the eyes got her.
Yeah, a stark reminder of the stakes and the fate that awaits discovered resistance members. A real blow to Offred.
So things really come to a head. Serena Joy finds the Jezebel's outfit, confronts Offred, threatens her. The walls are closing in.
The tension is just, palpable.
And then the black van arrives. The eyes, it looks like it's over for Offred.
But just then, Nick whispers to her, "Trust me," says their Mayday. Resistance.
This is a rescue.
Yeah.
Or a trap.
Yeah.
Nick, can he be trusted? It's completely uncertain.
Atwood leaves you hanging right there. Offred gets in the van, no idea what's next. That ambiguity is crucial.
Why end it like that? Why not tell us what happens?
Because that ambiguity is the point. Partly, it mirrors the uncertainty of life under such regimes. Fates disappear, stories get cut off. It forces us, the readers, to grapple with it, to keep questioning. It denies easy closure because, for people in that situation, there often isn't any. It keeps the struggle alive in our minds.
But wait, there are the historical notes at the very end. Set way in the future. Academics discussing Gilead.
Right, Professor P.X. Soto.
They found Offred's story on cassette tapes in Maine.
Yeah, those notes are brilliant. They do a few things. They confirm Nick was telling the truth. Those eyes were resistance, so she probably got out, initially at least. They might have figured out who the commander was. But Offred's ultimate fate, still unknown, lost to history maybe? It brings in themes of how history is recorded, how stories survive, how they get interpreted or misinterpreted later, the fragility of truth, the power of one voice, even fragmented.
So, wrapping this up, what have we seen in this deep dive? A terrifyingly plausible dystopia, yes, where everything's controlled, but also these sparks of resilience. Offred, Moira, finding ways to remember, resist, just be human, even when their stories don't have neat endings.
Exactly, and the historical notes hammer home that idea. A single story, even incomplete, can echo through time. It's a warning. It reminds us history is often messy, pieced together. Individual truths matter hugely, even if they're hard to fully recover. It makes us think about who gets to tell the story.
The Handmaid's Tale really shows that complex dance between oppression and defiance, power and vulnerability. It definitely makes you think about how easily freedoms can slip away. Makes you value vigilance.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you listening. In our own world, with so much information, so many competing narratives, how do we make sure important stories, warnings like Offred's, even the ambiguous ones, are actually heard? How do we ensure they're not just saved, but really understood? What's our role in that?
Something to definitely think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging, keep questioning, and keep exploring.